You're a student. Look.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, you've already got such a good student.
We're going to swap now.
Yes, please, please. The master and the student. You can tell a good teacher by the quality of the student. Yeah. Wow, may you have hundreds all over the world. In every city. Yeah, now you have Swindon Zone. That was great. Thank you.
So when this one gets going, please clap. It helps.
Thank you so much. You really have Shakti. You know what Shakti means, right? Female force, energy. It's wonderful. Shakti. Give me my mother. Thank you. My mother used to always repeat all the time when she suffered from terrible back pains and when my father was very sick before he passed. And she'd find his suffering so difficult. So every day she'd say, Nalanie, I'm asking God for Shakti, Shakti, give me Shakti, give me Shakti, give me force, give me the energy. Because sometimes we have to overcome things and we find it so difficult. And I learned so much from her prayers, you know. My mother is a woman who prays about 4 or 5 hours a day. So, and after Dad passed, that's all she does. She doesn't like to go out. So she has mantras going on all night long. If you sleep with her, you only hear mantras. And then all day long. And that's her life now. But it's given her the peace that she couldn't find anywhere else after losing Dad. And she said, I not only lost a husband, I lost my guru and my teacher. My father was a very wonderful man. And it was really nice to see this when he was suffering from cancer. And he had terrible pains, but he just never complained. And my mother had very back pains. And she'd get up in the morning in a funny mood because of her pains. And he, who was really sick, would just go, Darling, why are you so worried? I love you so much. Don't you know God is with you? Just keep saying, ask for strength, ask God for strength, ask God for love, ask God for energy. And every morning he would do that. And he was the one that was so sick and dying, and yet he had so much in his most difficult moments. All he did was give, give, give. And the moment before he lost consciousness, just before he passed away, I happened to be in his hospital room, and he'd just come up from the operating theater, and he was sitting on a chair just before he flatlined, and he said, you know, please, all of you are here. It was 4 of us, my sister and myself, my brother, my mom. He goes, you're here, always looking after me, please. Because in Hong Kong the hospitals are nice. Call the restaurant downstairs. Oh, Nalanie, you love vegetarian chow mein. That's vegetarian noodles. Order some for you, please. And order this, order that. Look after yourselves. That was his last words to us. Always concerned. He'd just come out from a major operation in so much visible pain. And all he did was think of us. I think I was very blessed to see a man like that, because when you think like that, you have no choice but to die happy. There was no poor me, and he was ready to go. He knew. So I don't know why I brought this up, because of the word Shakti. Again, you see, you lead me into the talk. You know, when you listen to mantras and you understand the meaning of their words, and she's praying to the goddesses, Parvati, Durga, for Shakti, for strength. All these goddesses that you see in the Hindu tradition, they only represent certain energies. These energies exist in us, these goddesses and these gods, because it's so difficult to see the energy in ourselves. We tend to see it in everybody else and not ourselves. So the Hindus made up all these gods with all these different personalities. And it's very interesting. Every male had a female consort. So you have Shiva and Parvati, Krishna and Radha, you know, Vishnu and Lakshmi. There was always male, female. And it was always to bring out those qualities in us. So this is why the Hindus worship all these forms. It's not that they, you know, so many people go, oh, they're idols, you know. But when you really understand, like Lord Ganesh, any of you know Lord Ganesh? How many? Everybody? Not many people?
There's one behind you.
Oh, okay. The elephant god. See, of course, for a foreigner, this looks really odd, an elephant god. And you read some of the stories, and it's like children's stories. But when you really think of the symbolism of an elephant is very, 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 very large animal, right? And yet, so gentle. Has a very, very, very long trunk, like a vacuum cleaner. Only picks up what is good for him to eat, and mostly vegetables, so they digest well. very strong, big ears, and that represents listening. Small mouth, talk less, listen more. Big stomach, prosperity. In the Eastern tradition, when you have big stomachs in Buddha, etc., it all represents prosperity. Why prosperity? Because if you're always needy and you're always wanting, you can never find any peace. So according to our concepts, everybody should have a little bit of prosperity, good health, and a lot of strength so you can live a good life. Gandhiji said, if you have a lot of wealth, you're always thinking about money. If you have very little, you're always thinking about money. But when you have just enough, you will be happy. And it's true. Throughout my life, I've seen very rich people worry about the silliest things. I used to be in a shop, and my worst clients were the very wealthy ones. They gave me the most headache. Honestly, they gave me so much trouble because they thought they were so wealthy they could order me around. And they'd be so fussy. And I would tell them, and when I got very close to them, I would tell them, you're such nice people, why do you have to do that? Because I had a friend who was a great customer. Eventually she became a friend. You don't need to do that. You don't need to be rude to the shop assistants, And so everything is a learning in life. And then they're worried about every single penny. So you have so much to give. Share with others. Share with others. What is it for? I always say all the yogis should be wealthy. You know why? They will share. They won't hoard. Any of you hoard? Cupboards full of clothes? Watch it. Give them away. Give them away. They lighten the energy in your home. What you don't use, give it away. Because if you don't use it in time, it will rot. And they'll smell. I know so many people keep clothes in suitcases for years. Oh, the fashions come back again. They go open the suitcase and everything is smelly and rotten. Okay, they got one or two nice outfits. And then I tell them, in all those years, all the other clothes that you're going to now throw in the bin could have been made so many people happy. So these are some of the yogic principles. They're very simple and nothing fancy. But we feel like we are not abundant. Life is abundant. We are abundant. The yoga science is, as you think, so, you tell me.
You become.
So you become. So you become. So if you think you are needy and you don't have enough, guess what will happen? That's exactly what you'll become. But if you think, I am content, I have everything I need, I am so abundant, that is exactly what will happen to you. It is exactly. Because the mind rules your life. It rules your life. If I say, apple, what do you see?
An apple.
Apple. So the thought is so very powerful. And yoga is a science that teaches you how to be aware of your thoughts. Aware of those thoughts. I'll give you a story I like to tell often. It's about this lady who came to my office to see me, and she said, Nalanie, I don't know why I have so much bad luck. I am such a good person. I do everything. But I don't know why every day I just ask God for one thing, and every day I go to the church and I light a candle every single day. But God doesn't hear me. Nothing works in my life. So I said, oh. So I said to her, so every day you go to the church to light a candle to get something. And God, you're blaming God for not getting it? She said, yes. So I said, okay. So what happens is I have a little office in Gibraltar. And when you close the doors, when you close the light, it's pitch black because it has no windows. It's in the interior of the building. So I switch off the light. So I said, I want you to sit there and pray for light. She said, what do you mean? I said, sit in my chair and just start praying for light. So she sat in the chair And she goes, God give me light, God give me light, God give me light. She said, I feel stupid. I said, keep going, God give me light. She said, Nalanie, this is ridiculous. And I said, keep going. So I made her do it for 2 or 3 minutes. And I said, do you have light? She said, no, but why would I? So I said, do you know where the light switches are in this office? She said, I guess they must be on that wall. I said, yeah. You want light? She said, yes. I said, well, get up and go turn on the switch. So she got up from the chair, she fumbled, switched the light on. So what did you learn from that? What did you learn from that? You want light? You got to make the effort. You've got to make the effort. So many people say, I want this, I want that, and they're so lazy they don't go to work. Nalanie, recently, 3 weeks ago, somebody came to me, a couple that was desperate. Why? We've had so many years of bad luck, and the wife said, my husband doesn't make enough. So I talked to the husband. Now, he makes as much as he can in this bad climate at the moment. You know, it's a credit crunch. Everybody's having problems. I said, it's not that he's not making, he's working very hard. So I asked her, what about you? She goes, I really don't want to. I said, what about you? You complain all day long. Your children have grown up now. You're still very young, still in your early 40s. I said, what do you think? I sat here and did yoga all my life, and that was enough? I said, when my children were young, I worked very hard in the shop. I worked from 10 in the morning to 7 at night. I taught dancing after that. I cooked and cleaned. Till for 23 years, I mopped floors. I made windows. I ironed clothes. I served customers. I didn't have holidays many weekends because we're a retail shop. I said, you know what? And I come from a wealthy family. And you refuse to work. And you insult your husband all day long. Get on your feet, eat some humble pie, and practice yoga. He's in trouble. Your kids are in trouble. Get to work. I was really quite rude to her. She's a good student. She's a really good student. I said, what is your problem? She said, I'm lazy. I said, go and do it. Do you know what? She was so determined, so fired up. Her husband called me the next day and said, our marriage is wonderful again. She's so fired up. She's determined. In this atmosphere, she managed to get 4 interviews and 3 offers of a job. And she told everybody, look, I had to eat humble pie. I had to eat humble pie and realized the problem was mine. She got the job, and she's so excited. You know, the day before she was going to get the job, I saw her for dinner. It was her birthday. And she said, oh, I'm so excited. I said, so why did you wait all those years? You see, it was a mind blockage. Sometimes we have this blockage in our head we don't even realize. She didn't even realize. So worth your marriage, go get a job. You've got a good man. You have good kids. Get on your feet and work. See, a lot of people think, oh, I pray. I am doing this. I'm doing good. But sometimes you have to put more. Walk the extra mile. That's the real yoga. And just with that switch, the whole family became happy. One person changed the way of thinking. She said, I don't know why I avoided it so many years. I said, I don't know too. I really don't know. And she got a perfect job part-time, which is what she wanted. Perfect. You know, because she was really sincere. And when people are sincere, I see things work for them very quickly. You know, while they're fluff, I can't find a job, I'm not good for anything, I can't do this, nothing works. Because what have they done with their mind already? They're predetermined. They're not getting a job. Oh, it's very difficult in this day and age. Nobody has jobs. Then they get depressed. And as they think, they become. Anyway, who would want to hire a depressed person? You want somebody to come into your office with energy, with vibrancy, and you'll hire them. So there's not that there are no jobs available. If you really want one, you will find them. I don't know why I'm talking about jobs suddenly. You know why? So, anyway, today's supposed to be Janaki. Where are you? Questions and answers?
Yeah, was the general idea. but
Do I have any
it
questions?
didn't go wrong, and carry on.
No topic, random.
No, I think it would be okay for asking people.
Okay, would you like to ask me anything, or any questions you have, or anything, spiritual practices? Yes.
Yesterday, there was something made me think for a while. You mentioned that you get invited to big venues and you refuse to go because why?
Okay, there are big venues and there are big venues. The big venues I was talking about, I've been before, was where we have a lot of people doing yoga, but more as a competition. I'm sure you've seen all these, and I've been to one of those. And of course, to get you known in the yoga field, if you go to these big venues, then you get invited to more big venues. But for me, yoga is a very simple science. It's not about which teacher is better, or who is better, or what is better. And I'm not going to these places to show what I know. I rather go to places where I'm needed, where there is a shift. So there are other big venues that are more sincere, and I do go to those when I'm in Hong Kong.
With that, my question would be, on these special venues where the people that are very competitive, and don't you think that maybe by you attending there, you actually have something to give, that with your words they can switch their minds?
It's a very
just
good
wonder.
point. It's a very good
Because
point.
that's a place that's actually,
Yes.
I think you may really be needed, because the people need to hear that. The people need to change their minds.
You're very wise, and maybe you are right. But at the moment, there is so much work that I have to do that there is no more time. So I choose. I make a decision which is better, because if I take up all those invitations, then I won't have time for coming to Swindon and seeing Janaki and Bev and the kids and Paddy, who I love. You know, so it's the love that draws me more. And to these, sorry, I'm embarrassing. And if I go to these big things, many people I don't know. I might know one or two people, because I've not been in those circles for years. And prior to my husband's death, it was the same. I didn't want to leave him so much. I didn't want him to feel that yoga was more than him. It wasn't. My yoga was to become a better person, to be a better wife and a better mother. So, and it wasn't really his thing, which was fine. I really understood that. But I didn't want to leave him. So I again choose. And I traveled even less then. I'd say even no more, because I wanted to spend some time with my husband, whom I enjoyed being with thoroughly. And I always used to say, when I used to go away, I said, you know, for me, everybody thinks I'm the yogi, but really the one that is the real yogi, which is a yogi is one who has perfection in action. I said, it's my husband, because when I come here, he didn't like cooking, so he eats sandwiches all the time. Whereas when I'm home, at least I cook him nice meals, his mashed potato, green peas, and you know, he was a meat eater. I'm a vegetarian, so he loved his lamb chops, green peas. He's very English, because he went to an English boarding school, although Indian. And my tastes were totally different. But when I was away, he'd have all these horrible white bread with ham, and I used to worry about him. So, and then he was alone, whereas I was always with so many wonderful people. So I really felt he was the yogi. He was making the sacrifices so I could do my work in the world. So who really was the one that was making the sacrifices? Him. And he really loved me so much to allow me to fly. So because he loved me so much to allow me to fly, how could I take advantage of that? So I would be very choosy also then. But now my invitations are increased, and I'm also choosy now because of the people I love. So I think love drives me. But it's a good point, and I will take that into account. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just thought that people may actually as well need to actually even more.
Thank you. It's a good point. It is a very good point. Thank you. So, what else? Any other question?
My sister says hi.
Oh, how is she doing?
I was just talking to her tonight.
Yes.
We've been talking a lot at the moment because our husbands are doing something very crazy.
Oh.
They're cycling the length of the country, so we're kind of in touch every day. And I
Yes.
said I was coming to see you. And I was actually wondering, I wanted to ask where you're off to with Janaki, because I saw Janaki at the beginning of the week. So
Okay, we're going to Sri Lanka
yes.
tomorrow morning at 7.
And what are you doing there?
Okay, you know, all of you know Swami Satchidananda? Okay, let me introduce you to my beloved, sweet, sweet master called Swami Satchidananda. You know, he looks like Moses and he's absolutely beautiful. He comes from South India where everybody is short and he's like 6'3". For me, a totally amazing, enlightened soul in this world. I've met so many in my life. And again, for me, the reason why I fell in love with this master is because of his teaching. He was so international, so universal in his teaching. His teaching was, truth is one, paths are many. Let us live in peace and joy. Truth is one, paths are many. Let us live in peace, love and light. And he was one of the first people in America to bring all the different traditions together. A rabbi, a dean of the church, a Catholic priest, American Indian priest. Anyway, all the different Muslim, bring them all together and do a service called an ecumenical service. And I actually witnessed one of these in 1980. And it was in the University of Virginia. It's the first time I experienced something like that. And there the university was packed, the hall was packed. And you had all these great leaders from all the different churches. And each one came up for 2 minutes and said something about their tradition or sang in their language. And then after that, right at the end, they all carried this candle and all of them lit one big candle in a big round table in the middle of the hall. So they all walked together and all together lit one candle. And you know, I just was like so choked up to see that. I was so choked up. I just felt, this is the way forward. This is the way this is the only way. And by not saying my religion is better than yours or my way is better than yours, but yeah, you know, I respect your way. It's not my way. It's not what I want with my life, but I love it that it's your way. Teach me about your way. Let me learn about your way. And so this is the nature of our master, Sri Swami Satchidananda. Sorry to go so roundabout to answer your question, but I think you should be introduced to a beautiful soul. And I knew him very well, and I watched him live, and his entire life was service, you know, absolute service. And when you're around him, any of you met the Dalai Lama here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know the energy he has, right? Could you feel it? Could you feel his energy? Yeah. No problem. Well, our master, when he walked into the room, the energy was like, you know, and you just don't want to leave. You just don't want to leave. I just didn't want to leave. And such was his soul. Such was his energy field. And in the States, when they try to measure his vibrational field, bless you. Do you know what they say in India? When you sneeze, and you know why they say God bless you? Because God is here in you. With that sneeze, it's like, recognize me.
Adding on to that, children in my class tell me that if you don't say thank you, a little fairy dies.
Oh, really? Okay.
And a little boy added today, no, they just go into a cupboard, and the next time somebody says thank you, they get let out.
I'll remember that one. Thank you. So, where was I?
We're talking about SIS Sri Lanka
Yeah, okay, so,
and the Dalai Lama.
yeah,
Well,
that was
Vibration.
the energy,
Yeah.
vibration. Ah, yes, vibration. And, you know, the scientists tried to measure his vibration. First, they measured the vibration size of the room. The equipment broke down, didn't work. It was too much energy. So they got stronger equipment, technical equipment. I don't know anything about that. And they had it to monitor the whole block. The whole block. The machine broke down. So they got a bigger machine to see if they could measure his energy, just the size of one state in America. Didn't work. They couldn't measure his energy fields. And such was his energy. This is why they say goodness, and this is why, for example, people like Lord Jesus, Buddha, the energy fields were so great, that 2,000 years later, people still fall in love with them. So great. I haven't met him. How can you fall in love with Lord Jesus? How many people have told me since my master's passed, oh, he comes to me in dreams, he calls me, they walk into the yoga center, oh, I've been looking for him all my life. I go, really? You never met him? Do you know, I see this all the time. And it just amazes me. It just amazes me, you know. But so anyway, this is, for me, a real enlightened master. And you know the wonderful thing about him? He never even said he was enlightened. Do you know what he always said? I am like a flute. God, and I let God play me. But I'm hollow. That's all I have to do. Make myself hollow. You think I do these things? I don't. He said, I'm just an empty flute and God plays me. And I just love that. And every time I see a flute player basking in the roads of Gibraltar, I have to give them money because I remember that. And I always pray at the same time when I give them the money, let me be like the flute and let God play me. Let me flow with that great energy. Let me be like that flute. So this is the nature of Swami Satchidananda. He had a family. He had a wife and 2 children. His wife died very, very suddenly. And overnight, his entire life changed. He was a curator of a temple in India, and he was looking after the temple. He was also brilliant. He used to, produce movies. He loved cars and anything mechanical, so he could fix cars. He just loved mechanics, you know. And so he was great at riding, flying, everything. Anyway, when his wife passed away, he went through deep sorrow, and he realized he wanted to dedicate his life to God. And so his mother decided to look after his 2 sons while he went on his journey. So he went on his journey, and finally in the end he found his master, which is Master Shivananda. I don't know, have you heard of Master Shivananda? Yeah, Shivananda is very famous worldwide. He brought lots of great disciples for our generation. You know, we owe him a lot. Swami Chinmayananda was a great journalist turned into a Swami. He went to see Shivananda to disclaim him and say that yoga was a lot of nonsense, it was rubbish, and it was all spiritual hype to make people weak. He went and stayed with Master Shivananda for a month. He never left. He never left. But Master Shivananda he fell in love with, but Swami Chinmayananda was so highly intellectual that he needed more. So Shivananda sent him, he said, you can only learn love from me. That's all I do. But if you want more knowledge, and because you have such a high intellect, let me send you to another guru that lives in another part of India. He will satisfy all your intellectual questions. So Swami Chinmayananda then went on to study with another master, but more on the Jnana Yoga knowledge. But his real guru was Master Shivananda. And my master, Sri Swami Satchidananda, his name means truth, knowledge, bliss, absolute. He finally, after traveling all over India, found Master Shivananda, and after spending many years in his ashram, was asked to go to Kandy, to create a center in Kandy in Sri Lanka. Any of you know where Kandy is in Sri Lanka? It's halfway between south and north. So Colombo's here, Kandy's here, and Trincomalee, where all the trouble is up north. And so Kandy is a beautiful place. It's very green, beautiful mountains, full of tea plantations, very natural. There is an elephant orphanage there. There are lots of Buddhist monasteries in the tree. It's beautiful. I've been there. Lots of different churches and all the different traditions in Kandy. It's really beautiful. So 6 years ago, I went to Kandy and I saw where our master used to teach. He taught there for 13 years. And then the film director, Conrad Brooks, went to Kandy to find truth, to Colombo, and he found Swami Satchidananda. When he found him, he said, I'm taking you to America. And that's when he performed, you know, the Woodstock Festival, the first Woodstock Festival. If you look at the DVD, there you will find Swami Satchidananda with all these millions of people. He opened Woodstock. So they brought him to America after 13 years of being there. So when I went there 6 years ago to visit the place, of course it was all closed down. There was nobody to look after it because as soon as he went to America, all the disciples followed, some followed him, and some just dispersed. So the place started to close down. And it was dilapidated. His room was still intact, but the rest of the dormitories were dilapidated. So anyway, 6 years later, we went to India in February to do some work on behalf of all of us. You know, all our students give us donations and we feel we need to give it forward. So there we did some 400 eye operations for the poor. We helped some orphanages, not, you know, all of us together. You know, this is what we did, and it was just a great learning for us. You know, we weren't giving them anything. They were giving us the pleasure of being able to serve. Anyway, while we were in India, one of Gurudev's disciples, my age group, now we're going next generation, asked me if I would become a trustee and revive Kandy. So there and then, we decided to, I said, let's make a date. And I said, Lakshmi, when am I available this year? She said, the only month you have is May. I said, okay. We booked May. We're going to Sri Lanka. So I told this chap who's helping us, you know, he owns shipping agency, transportation. So he said, don't worry, he lives in Chennai. He'll organize for somebody to do the drawings, have something ready for us by the time we get there. And then there's another disciple of our master, who lives in Bali, who's in construction. He's coming to meet us in Sri Lanka. And so we are all going to see if we can revive this place and bring back the former glory of our master who started there, and make the actual place where he lived into a shrine. This is what we would like to do. If that's what is meant, it will happen. And then the dormitories, to revive it so people like you from all over the world can go there to practice yoga, stay 1 or 2 weeks. All his disciples, or not even his disciples, can go there and just spend some time in Sri Lanka serving, maybe in an orphanage or whatever. This is our desire to do this, but we'll see when we get there. We'll see when we get there. So that's why we're going to Sri Lanka, and it's a very exciting project because it's such an honor to be able to do this for our master and make it available for the world. He has thousands and thousands of disciples all over the world, and so I'm sure once we start, everybody will come. It's already happening. It's already happening. People are just giving us donations for it, so it's just going to happen.
So I have a question with that.
Sure.
Why do you think when charity work, when you look at charity work in many places, like orphanages, and they charge so much money for you to go 1 to 2 weeks, and they charge £1,000-2,000, and you say, well, I have my time to give. I don't have the money, but I have my time. And they charge so much.
You know, I can't really answer for anybody because I don't know how the administration is or how they work or what they, and I don't like to criticize unless I know.
In general.
Yes, you know, I don't agree with a lot of such high charges myself. That's why we do everything ourselves, you know. But what can we do? This is the way of the world. You know, I try not to criticize others. I try to better the system by being an example. That's the only way I can do things. You know, yes, I agree. I find some of it quite sad. Breaks my heart to see this because I think so many people can be doing so much good. Why should it be so impossible to adopt children from when so many people don't have children? Why have they made it so difficult? Why has society made mothers crying out to look after these children and so many starving and have to pay thousands to adopt? I don't understand. I think the world is full of greed. It makes me very sad. The only way I can do anything about it is not argue with it, but be an example. I cannot change them. I can change myself and my attitude. And all of us are doing that are working, and of them that are coming with me are doing the same. Yes.
Well, SIS, we've got 2 projects in India where you don't have to pay to volunteer. One's in a school for children, for slum children and mothers. You can organise on the website to go there. And also in Chennai with Udavam Karangal. They offer food and accommodation, and you can go there and work. It's for 2,000 children, women that have been abused, homeless, an amazing project.
May I speak to you later on?
Yes.
Yes, that is our charity that we're working on. SIS, Service in Sachidananda, which is our master's name. We're trying to bring back the spirit of truth, knowledge and bliss, and service without expecting anything in return. You had a question.
It's about greed. Across the planet at the moment, and there's more and more people becoming aware, is that the global elitists, which means governments, corporate companies and the banking system, all working together and kind of eliciting financial abuse in every country and across the whole world.
Absolutely.
And it's getting more and more intense, and the amount of deception and lies in the media that the politicians just blatantly lying, and yet people don't seem to be waking up and realising and seeing through it, and yet it's so clear their deception and their...
Yes, this is why...
I find it scary, to be
Thank
honest.
you. Yes.
And there's not a lot that scares me, and I feel powerless, and I can just see it unfolding just day by day, this kind of agenda. It's a kind of global agenda. And they're taking control of everything, and they're being very successful at it, actually. They're really doing it successfully, so
You are
I'm concerned.
So am I. So this is how we can help. I'll let you know. I'm sorry, ask Bev to bring me the chair because I have a bad ankle, and after a while sometimes it hurts and sometimes it doesn't. So because I sit in this position, it's, I'm so sorry.
Also, can I just ask, just while I've got this quiet moment, if anybody minds, we're videoing tonight, it'll be going on YouTube, so if you mind, please let us know, and also recording. All right, YouTube or the internet. Thank you. Yeah, we'll put it on the website. Thank you.
I am sorry to break to create a fuss. Thank you. Thank you, Bev.
Also, as well, while I've got this quiet moment, take advantage, we have a few CDs for sale at the back, Nalanie's talks, and also Narayane's CDs, and some booklets, so please help yourself have a look. Thank you, just for the shot there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bev. I appreciate that. No. I'm absolutely comfortable. Thank you. Sorry to make such a fuss. I really don't like it. But today, funny enough, it was hurting. I don't know why. So,
would you like a pillow and feet? Massage comfy.
thank you. Thank you. You're very kind people. You're very loving. Thank you. Should I put that there? Thank you. Really kind. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, it makes me sad. But I realize that making me sad is not going to change this world. I've got to be happy. And how we can help is by being the example, like I said earlier. It is a huge force. But you know something? People are fighting back. Look at the Middle East. They're fighting back. I know it's hard to see it. Every time there's a revolution, I talked about this last night, there's always, when there's a change of consciousness, there's always a revolution and there's always much bloodshed. Many souls come to sacrifice to free us. Every time there's a big change on this earth. It's been happening forever. So I am very optimistic because I have never seen so many wonderful things come out on the internet about doing good and being good. I have never met so many souls as I have now that are making great shifts. And I've been 20 years in yoga, but great shifts of consciousness by saying, I want to make difference. Young people, I want to know the spirit. I don't want the name God. They won't use the name God, but that's fine. It's the same thing. Divine energy, whatever you want. I want to have the strength to make a difference. I am seeing this change. I'm just hoping we can do this quick enough. You see, my master taught me one thing which I will never forget, and I'll relay to you. The first talk he gave in Gibraltar was world peace. And the first sentence he said was, you cannot change the world by being angry. First, find peace. When you find inner peace, then your world is happy. And if everybody finds their own inner peace, all those little worlds are happy. He said, look at all these people. They're fighting, they're killing people for peace. What's the point? They're doing the same thing as the other person is doing. Shower them with love. How would you put out a fire? With water. Fire with fire just creates more havoc. But when this is happening in the world, there has to be some kind of revolution, because not everybody is in this frame of mind. Those of the higher intellect or higher spiritual energy work from a different direction. Those with the military energy will work fighting to save the earth, fighting for righteousness. And those with a higher intellectual energy realize that this all creates cause and effect. So we, on a higher plane, can do a lot with our thought patterns. Do you remember when I was talking about the vibration of my guru in the beginning? We all have the capabilities of creating this kind of vibration when we're totally at peace, because that is the level of higher vibration. And by us constantly filling our minds with good thoughts and being examples, we can shift. And you can see this even in a very simple way. So many times I've had families that are dysfunctional. Then, a wife or husband will say, why do I always have to do the work? Why can't my partner do something? And I said, you know why? Because God chose you to be, you're the higher yogi. Do it not because you expect anything in return, but do it in love. Do it in love. And I can see when one person does something in love, the whole family shifts. I've seen this over and over and over again. My own self, my husband was so like, why are you doing yoga?